We're back. After a very long time, though to you it may have seemed like only a fraction of a second, we've returned with Purana Talk. And we're reading the Garuda Purana. We're now in the third Kanda, chapter 4, entitled Gunas and Their Nature, Imbalance and Equilibrium. The Lord said, when the Lord created the three gunas, their composite form being Prakriti, there sprang up Lakshmi in her threefold form, viz. Shri, Bhu, and Durga. So this is good stuff. See, when the Lord created the three gunas, their composite form being Prakriti, when they put the three gunas together, you get nature. Prakriti is nature. It footnotes it there. It says equilibrium of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, is called prakriti. Sattva, rajas, tamasam, samyavastha prakriti.
And some have paralleled this to the Celtic earth, sea, and sky combination.
Together constitute nature. There sprang up Lakshmi in her threefold form, and Lakshmi is the feminine aspect of Vishnu, or his Shakti. And her threefold forms are Shri, Bhu, and Durga. And Shri is another name for Lakshmi, signifying her auspiciousness. Bhu sounds like it refers to the earth. And Durga is the Shakti of Shiva.
Her name means hard to get to, hard to reach, or hard to bother. Both.
Shri was characterized by Sattva, Bhu by Rajas, and Durga by Tamas. Thus say the wise.
I want to try to get that down. So I've got Shri, S-R-I.
Shiva, S-R.
And that's Lakshmi.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes you wonder if Bhu is, if you're looking at it in the Trinitarian way of Vishnu, Shiva, right, and Brahma, Shri would be the Vishnu, Durga is Shiva, obviously, so Bhu would be associated with Brahma by process of elimination.
And we know that they have these attributes. We've gone through this before. Outer and inner aspects.
Yeah.
Outer.
Well, yeah, they have their own.
But they're using the gunas to do that.
Right.
Anyway.
Yep.
So Bhu and...
So Shri... Durga. Shri was characterized by Sattva, Bhu by Rajas, and Durga by Tamas.
So Tamas for Durga. Shri was what?
Shri is Sattva. And Bhu is Rajas. And now this goes to the association that you were just talking about, actually.
Right.
Because it is said that Shiva is externally tamasic in nature. And it says that Durga, his Shakti, is tamas. That Vishnu is externally sattvic, and Shri is sattvic, and Brahma is externally, and in his case internally, rajasic. And Bhu is the Rajas. So it must be that this is a form of Saraswati, or the Shakti of Brahma, if you will. 3. O Lord of birds, one should not recognize any difference among Shri, Bhu, Durga, the three forms of Lakshmi. So they're making these the three forms of Lakshmi, which means, I think, that they're treating Lakshmi as like the feminine aspect of the ultimate form of Vishnu, like Mahavishnu. In the sense that sometimes you have Shiva indicated as the high god, and beneath Shiva you have the Trimurti, which would be Rudra, Vishnu, and Brahma, know.
Yeah.
But we know Rudra is really Shiva too, so it's sort of, the Vaishnava version of that.
Yeah, we've seen this sort of pattern before, for sure.
So, O Lord of Birds, one should not recognize any difference among Shri Bhu Durga, the three forms of Lakshmi. Those who recognize difference among the three by virtue of three distinct gunas are thrown in the pitch dark regions. Purusha assumed three forms: Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. Purusha being the masculine element, essentially, in creation. And it takes three forms: Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, each containing the respective guna, sattva, rajas, and tamas. The same association as we saw before, although in the other text it said that Vishnu is outwardly tamasic but inwardly sattvic, and Vishnu is outwardly sattvic but inwardly tamasic, and Brahma is just rajasic all around. So. But they're just referring to the external form here, apparently. 5. Vishnu pervaded the universe to sustain people with sattva guna. He inspired Brahma to create beings with rajas guna. Brahma created the universe with rajas guna, hence Brahma is the first creator, not Vishnu. Vishnu inspired Rudra to annihilate the world with tamoguna. Vishnu, when he inspired Rudra, was called Rudra. But Rudra and Vishnu are not identical. Vishnu is not identifiable with Brahma either. Brahma and Rudra are pervaded by Vishnu. This very knowledge leads one to release. It is never otherwise.
This is very interesting. We can stop for a moment. I want to just sort of examine what he's done here. Because in a lot of ways they're saying that even though it all comes out of one place and is essentially all one thing, it divided into three things, and these three things aren't one thing. Something like that. And that's new, it seems to me. Like, we haven't had him take that attitude before that I can remember. I think that's a good way of looking at it. But
Vishnu, when he inspired Rudra, was called Rudra. But Rudra and Vishnu are not identical. Vishnu is not identifiable with Brahma either. Brahma and Rudra are pervaded by Vishnu. This very knowledge leads one to release. It is never otherwise. 9. They should recognize the respective functions of the three: Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. Those who do not recognize the same go to terrific hells, whence there is no return. And they mean terrific in the literal sense, unlike the way we use it in English.
They mean terrifying.
10. The eternal Lord Vishnu pervaded the gunas and activated them for the purpose of creation. When the three gunas were activated, there was evolved Mahat out of the constituents of the three gunas. Mahat in Sankhya philosophy, the great principle Mahat, or intellect, distinguished from Manas, is mind, the second of the 25 principles recognized by the Sankhyas, the system of counting out 25 principles that
so it's the mind,
intellect.
The intellect.
That's what they're suggesting. I mean,
yeah.
To distinguish it from manas, which I said my translation of manas would be mind. Sorry, I have a little something in my throat. All right. I'm here.
We just were in 11. Right there.
That's it. Out of Mahat were evolved Brahma and Vayu. They were born twins after the lapse of a year since Mahat came into being. Mahat being activated by Rajas, the creation was evolved out of the Gunas and the state, in the state of imbalance. Garuda said, O son of Devaki, you have explained to me the nature of creation evolved out of the Gunas. I have gained by your grace the correct knowledge of the principle of Mahat in imbalance. O Lord, now explain to me the significance of the Gunas in imbalance. I'm going to take a little break, just a sec.
I'll come back.
Lord Krishna said, O Lord of birds, before I explain to you the Gunas in imbalance, I shall explain to you first of all what Gunas in equilibrium would signify. And before I do that, O Lord of birds, I shall explain to you the portion of the Gunas in their material forms, ether, etc. With the aggregate of tamas, O Lord of birds, were joined the particles of Rajoguna twice in proportion. With the aggregate of Rajas, O son of Vinita, were joined the particles of Sattva-guna twice in proportion. The gunas are evolved out of the primordial nature. They are not primary. Since forms of Prakriti are many and not categorizable, the gunas are secondary, not primary. Thus I have explained to you, O Lord of birds, the nature of the gunas, their number, and the way how they function. Of the three gunas, the sattva alone is pure. O Garuda, it is not mixed with rajas guna or tamas guna. It is called Kevala Sattva. Keval in modern Hindi means only. Only pure. Not that it is superior to other gunas, but because it was the only existing guna in the beginning of creation, which got mixed with the rest at the time of dissolution. O Lord of birds, the sattva remains pure at all times, except at dissolution. Those who think contrarily enter the lower regions of pitch darkness. O Lord of birds, only the rajas and tamas are mixed gunas. O Lord of birds, they are mixed at the beginning and at the end of creation. With the aggregate of rajas, more than 100 part of sattva is mixed. O best of birds, it is not otherwise. O son of Vinata, of the aggregated 100 parts of rajas, one part is tamas. It is mixed with the aggregated part of rajas. O dear, such is the position of the aggregated rajas mixed with tamas. In the aggregated tamas, there is mixed sattva, O son of Vinata. O Garuda, sattva is mixed with tamas approximately more than the 10th part of tamas. O son of Vinita, with the 10 aggregated parts of tamas is mixed rajas in 1/10 part. O best of birds, this is the position of the aggregated tamas.
Did you get what that's about?
You're talking to me or the audience?
Oh, well, I don't understand. I was wondering if you did.
Nope.
Okay.
Garuda said, what the? No, he didn't. I made that up. Garuda said, O Lord of Sattvatas, I have strong doubts in regard to that. In an aggregated guna, whatever parts of another aggregated guna are found in greater or smaller proportion, the guna acquires that name, like the milk in water. How is that, O Lord? On hearing the query of Garuda, the Lord spoke with great affection, appreciating the query of his devotee. The Lord said, O Lord of birds, the aggregated sattva is greater than the aggregated rajas or aggregated tamas. Sattva is not mixed either with rajas or with tamas. The learned declare the aggregated rajas or tamas by those very names and not by any other. Poison mixed with milk or sacrificial oblation is nothing but poison. The same is the position of gunas, O bird. O Lord of birds, I shall now tell you the state of equilibrium of the gunas. Whatever is the product of aggregated rajas, whatever has entered in the Mahat principle is also called rajas. When the hour of dissolution comes, rajas remains in Mahat by 12 parts. In the aggregated sattva, it remains by 10 parts. In the aggregated tamas, by 1 part, O bird. A part of aggregated rajas remains in rajas by 1 part. Thus, O bird, the principle of Mahat is dissolved in the 3 gunas. O Lord of bird, when the gunas are mixed in equal proportion, the learned declare it to be the equilibrium of gunas. Those who think otherwise are placed in the pitch dark regions, which is where I am sitting right now. I'm in the dark.
Yeah, me too.
They got me on this one.
I'm not
It's
sure
fascinating.
They're being very specific about the proportions.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where the answer lies. But I don't understand the associations they're making, and I don't quite get what they think they're explaining.
I suggest to our listening audience that they just continue to listen to this over and over again until they understand it.
There obviously is something there. Like, I almost thought of alchemy. It's taking these 3 principles, cardinal, fixed, mutable, say, like if you're an astrologer, and it's mixing them together in various proportions, but it never tells us what the result is.
Sulfur,
this is
mercury,
what I noticed
arsenic.
Over here in the 30 area. Was the same sort of association that they were making. So many parts of this, so many parts of that. But they're never telling us what that is, like how that's.
Well, let's read on. It might help.
Okay.
Garuda said, 47. O Lord, tell me, in brief, how the aggregated gunas stand in equilibrium at the time of final dissolution, also called pralaya. Lord Krishna said, the learned declare that the aggregated gunas stand in equilibrium, being mixed together. Oh dear, now I shall tell you about the imbalance of gunas. That's it? Are they going on? All right. He's God. The rajas, which remained mixed by 10 parts with sattva, by the 1 part with tamas, by 1 part with tamas, by 1 part with rajas at the time of dissolution, remains mixed by 10 parts with sattva, by 1 part with rajas, and by 1 part with tamas. Thus the 12 parts stand conjoined and constitute Mahat. O son of Vinita, there is another specialty in this context. In the principle of Mahat, 1 part is tamas. Thus the Mahat principle is mixed with all gunas. Garuda said, O Lord of Sattvitas, I have heard formerly from Brahma that the Mahat principle was evolved out of 4 components of gunas, i.e., 1 part of tamas and 3 parts of rajas. Thus the principle of Mahat consists of 4 parts, being the form of Brahma himself, which the learned declare to be due to the imbalance of gunas. It is evolved out of 13 parts. O fond of devotees and merciful one, please clear my doubts regarding this point. Lord Krishna said, what Brahma had stated to you and what I have said just now is not open to doubt. Rajas is mixed with primary sattva by 10 parts. The total is but one constituent. The second constituent consists of rajas extant in the primary rajas. It sounds like English.
It's English. I just don't get what he's referring to. I don't understand what we're supposed to get from that. I understand he's given me a formula, but I don't know what I'm supposed to result.
Yeah. So, if you are the guru that we seek, that can decode this,
feel free.
Yeah, just send us a message. You know where to reach us. You can call our 800 number. We have operators standing by 24 hours a day.
Or you can leave a message under this video.
Okay. The second constituent consists of rajas extant in the primary rajas. The third constituent consists of rajas present in the primary tamas. The fourth constituent consists of one part of rajas present in the primary tamas being designated as tamas. Thus, the 3 parts of rajas and 1 part of tamas constitute the body of Brahma due to the imbalance of gunas. Ta-da!
Well, at least we got it that it's Brahma that is made up this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was where I was having a problem. He'd give me the formula, but he wouldn't tell me what he got.
What are we making?
He would just go on to another formula.
Garuda said, 64. Mahat consists of 4 parts, of which the 3 are rajas, 1 is tamas. This is what you have declared to me. O Lord, it appears from your statement that the body of Brahma is constituted of rajas. There is a doubt, O Lord, on this point. The body of Brahma is constituted of pure sattva, they say. How could it be formed of rajas? Lord Krishna said, in the 3-fold rajas of 12-fold aggregate, there exists sattva 10-fold more in proportion to rajas. In the 3-fold rajas of 12-fold aggregate, there exists sattva 10-fold more in proportion to tamas. In the 3-fold rajas of 12-fold aggregate, there exists tamas 11-fold more in proportion to tamas. In the 3-fold rajas of 12-fold aggregate, there exists rajas 1-fold more in proportion to tamas. Now I shall tell you about the mixed parts. Hear, O wise one. 71. The material that constitutes Mahat, O Lord of birds, consists of 13 parts of gunas, of which rajas contributes 12 portions, and tamas 1. I shall tell you about their subdivision. First of all, I shall tell you about the parts of gunas. Parts of rajas, 1 part of tamas, 10 parts of rajas, 1 part of sattva, 12 parts in all. Parts of tamas, 1 part of rajas, 11 parts of tamas, parts of sattva, 10 parts of sattva. Such is the position of sattva in the Mahat principle. Since Brahma is constituted of more sattva parts than any other deity, he is called Shuddha Sattva, i.e. consisting of pure sattvic quality. I have thus told you about the constituents of Mahat, O son of Vinita, the knowledge of which leads one to release from the cycle of birth.
Well, I think it might be understandable, maybe. But,
with a little effort.
With a little effort. But it seems to me that we have a flaw in the translation here. They somehow have missed the object in almost every case. Towards the end, we're getting objects.
Mm-hmm.
Where they say rajas and what it's made of. And
we're talking about Mahat and how it's what it's
made
of, and
thinking,
Brahma.
Yeah.
And
I keep thinking of astrology, because in astrology you have 12 playing against 3 and 4. 3 times 4 is 12. You get cardinal fixed mutable all the way around the zodiac, and you also get earth, air, fire, water repeating, and those playing against each other make up your 12 combinations, if you want to think of it that way. Well, if that's what our 12 is here, and that's what our 3 is here, is something like cardinal fixed mutable, something like that, that's playing out, you can see how you'd get 12 combinations out of 3.
uh-huh.
Right? And we've done that. They did that a couple of times.
Yeah, it to me
They're telling us something. I just don't know quite what it is.
it's like watching a movie that just completely baffles me, and I want to go back and watch it again, and I have a feeling I'd have to watch it like 3 more times before I really start figuring out what the heck is going on here.
Well, maybe. I get glimmers sometimes, because when he was talking about
the translator,
well, the voice,
God,
yeah, I guess, Vishnu.
Garuda. There aren't a lot of speakers here.
Well, Vishnu's the one giving the explanation.
Yeah.
But as he says, sort of how there's, well, like here in 70 is a good example. In the threefold rajas of the 12-fold aggregate. Like, what are these words mean?
And this one they repeat over and over again. In the threefold rajas, the 12-fold aggregate, there exists. And you get to where you look at them to see which one word is changed. Here, between these, rajas changes to tamas in the next one. Every other word in that sentence is the same. In the next one over here, it isn't the tamas that changes, it's sattva changes. Well, sattva changes to tamas previously. So in the tenfold rajas of 12-fold aggregate, there exists sattva tenfold more in proportion to tamas. Then it says tamas tenfold more in proportion to tamas.
So it's running through a bunch of combinations.
Then
but
rajas
why?
to tamas.
Yeah,
I know.
This is the thing that I don't understand, is what we're supposed to get from that.
But like I say, I think that you go over and you say, oh, he's talking about this, where he says that Mahat consists of 4 parts, and then he says it 4 different ways, and it's like.
But this is why I say it reminds me of astrology. You've got 4 and 3 and 12. Anyway, so I think there may be a key there.
Maybe
they may just be going through the 12 states and giving what the combination is each time as they go around.
Okay. See you next time.
All right.